Hello everyone, I'm Anna, your knowledge host. The Chief Executive Officer of Cloudgate Dance School, Kate Wen, told us lately that only 2 of her 10 best friends from high school are still in relationships, meaning 80% of them are alone. According to a recent survey released by the Ministry of Interior, more than 7 million Taiwanese are single, nearly 1/3 of the population. But we're not alone. Record numbers of people globally are making active choices to live, work, entertain, and parent by themselves, not because they have to, but because they want to. Kat Moore, Director of Belongings at the Southern California University, found that the new currency of being solo disrupts the stories we tell ourselves about loneliness and being alone. Kate Wen, one of the 7 million singles, states that she actually was not looking to be single, but life turned out to be like that.
其实不是说你刻意要或不要。
Being alone is actually not something that you can opt in or opt out of on purpose. It's a status following natural transformation. My point is that we would know how to enjoy our life, to spend our life, and to make our life better and better when it comes to being alone.
Walking alone to the office day after day, truly enjoying solo life, Kate Wen feels that walking alone, working alone, dining alone, and exercising alone is something like talking to her body. Body is her love interest. Coincidentally, a group of people found that from the beginning of the 21st century, the world has been transforming soundlessly into a world of alone people. Interpersonal relationships have been redefined as the companionship in a solo world. Kat Moore has found something that might cause the phenomenon of being alone.
Family structures have changed. People are choosing to be single. People are also just not joining groups in the same ways that they used to. And so now with researchers studying what the fallout of that is, we're left with trying to figure out, now what do we do about it?
Professor Kat Moore concludes that the life of soloists can be attributed to 3 R's: remote, replacement, and rental. Following the trend that people are harnessing the power of the internet in everyday life to find their tribe, join mass movements, and share their lives whenever, wherever, and remotely, now kids in Japan are watching fellow students and sometimes YouTube stars quietly study for as long as 1 hour at a time. The phenomenon in Japan was known as Benkyo Doga, or study clips in English. It started in Japan but has now gone global. In Kate Wen's experience, while we are overwhelmed by the information from the internet, the life we have might not be what we want.
所以我确实会觉得
I truly feel that in the age of the internet, we might have been lost in the information explosion. Should we not have enough confidence in ourselves and in what we truly want? What we want might be just what we think we wanted. What we want actually echoes the life and wants of others.
Thanks to the rapid viral spread of cell phones, people are now hooking up apps to watch pretty much everything. Aside from watching strangers studying and watching strangers eating, you can watch strangers sleep online as well. There's even a new term, gua shui, in Mandarin, which means hanging on chatting status while a stranger counterpart sleeps online on the other side. In terms of the situation, it's sleeping together and you have to pay for it.
有发现一个很有趣的现象，我们 App 上有些用户会真挂睡。
We found an interesting occurrence is that some app users would invite people to fall asleep together, and it's called gua shui. Gua shui is a unique happening. The users would find someone to gua shui, usually the opposite sex, but it depends. For instance, if I were a girl and I am recruiting a gua shui partner, it usually means that I'm asking for a male. We could chat online, and even when we fell asleep, we wouldn't hang up. We'd put the cell phone aside and sleep together. The call is free and doesn't stop. It's similar to lovers' behavior.
Gua shui is something like the third phenomenon, rental, that Professor Kat Moore found in the Solo World Companionship Study. She claims that there are over 600,000 friends available to rent through Rent a Friend website. Starting at $10 an hour, customers can rent another human to join them at the movies, grab a drink, or even help them to meet other people. A host of similar services offer moms, uncles, and grandparents who can provide advice, emotional support, and a sense of family. Rental companions respond to the need for deeper, real-life, person-to-person connections. A Japanese family rental company has run for 7 years.
家族をレンタルしたい人ってですね、様々な理由があってですね、例えば結婚前の両家の挨拶で両親が必要になったけど、実際の両親とは絶縁状態でとてもじゃないけど来てくれないと。そういった時にですね、じゃあお父さんお母さんを借りてしまって両家の挨拶に参加してもらった後に結婚式も参加してもらったりとか。
Yuichi Ishii said that once their employees are assigned to a family gathering, they will be rented out more than once. It's obvious that being a lone business has tremendous potential. According to the results of the world's largest loneliness study in 2018 by BBC, more than 4/5 of the 55,000 participants said they like spending time on their own. Fortunately, if they need friends or family, there are rentals. As to the people who don't want to take the chance to engage in real-life, person-to-person connection, they may look for the second R, replacement. For instance, only a decade ago, people used to raise dogs, cats, and plants as a hobby, but now it can be a replacement for companionship. Lin Jia-li, a winner of the Best Supporting Actress of Golden Bell Awards, volunteers to help patients in hospitals and to give her love and care to Buddhism instead of sharing her life with the wrong guy.
像后来我开始遇见了佛法，我觉得
And then I started to find the essence of Buddhism. I found in Buddhism, you can wander around it and space becomes far-reaching. You can learn more about it than in marriage. It then turns out that marriage is not absolutely necessary, because in a marriage, it's you and the other half who learn from each other. But in Buddhism, I can learn from various people, walk in the world of all living creatures. When I want to devote my capabilities, there are many different people for me to reach, to learn from, and to practice with. It's my homework.
Psychologists have found that to be alone and to engage with others are both essential to human happiness and survival. How do we maintain a healthy balance between being alone and being together? Kat Moore finds that our companionships are getting really deep with an acceptable number of people who we can actually stay in contact with. While there's also a desire to break out of our echo chambers and understand each other's differences, she thinks it's healthiest when we have lots of different kinds of connections. Respecting differences and collaborating with the differences is the super simplified answer. It coincides with the thinking of marriage counselor Ye Hongxiu.
人跟人之间要有一个界限。
We need a boundary with people. If not, love would be over-passionate. The two of you would be completely mixed up into one. It's like a song that said, I'm in the mud you are in the mud I am. Sounds romantic, but it's not healthy. A healthier relationship should be like that we stay closer sometimes and to stay solo sometimes too. You have your world, and I have mine. We have an overlapped part in between where we respect each other. Taiwan has been changing very fast in the last decades. I believe the number of patients for marriage counseling will be less in the future because people won't get married if they cannot get along well, and couples will be apart if they cannot get along well after marriage.
Have you found your attitude toward marriage is recently not as strict as 20 years ago? In the days of social distancing, when online games or online chatting are the major part of our daily life, to stay alone seems more convenient for us to do what we want to do. However, in the meantime, we cannot live all by ourselves in many cases, such as when we are ill, when our tools for living malfunction, or when we need to go abroad. And the key to get a balance between being alone and being together is to respect differences and to collaborate with others. I'm Anna. If you're living by yourself, don't worry, you're not alone. Hope you've learned something in this episode of Knowledge. You'll find more on Funde website. See you next time.